Hey everyone, we're going to be taking a look at a dock today that was sent to me from a company called CableCreation. They actually are a pretty prominent company in the accessory kind of electronic space. So they make cables, they make charging cables, auxiliary cables, and evidently docks. Now, I do have an auxiliary extension cord cable from them for my headphones and my desktop, and yeah, for what it's worth, they make decent quality cables. There's no static or anything like that from my headphones. So let's see if they can kind of carry that over and make a decent dock as well. Now, I'm kind of thankful that CableCreation sent over a slim dock and not like a oversized or purpose-built Steam Deck dock or anything like that, or a ROG Ally or whatever. These ones are nice because they're just kind of throw in your bag, throw in your pocket, throw in your travel bag, whatever. And you can use them for your desktop, your laptop, your other handhelds, your ROG Ally, your Steam Deck. You likely use it on your Switch for Ethernet, I'm sure. There's just a whole use case for this that there isn't really for the Steam Deck docks or the ROG Ally docks, because those, like, yeah, you could throw them in your bag, you can use them as a regular kind of USB-C dock as well, but they're a little bulky. The only thing I could really think of is like using your phone as a little phone holder and then putting it there to watch a video as you're working on something on your laptop, maybe. If you want like a second screen going, kind of. That's really the only kind of use case I would see using one of these docks with a laptop, really. That's kind of it. Beyond that, I would much rather use one of these kind of pen drive style docks. And you'll kind of see that, surprisingly, that it does come with like a nice little carrying case. I honestly wasn't expecting that, and in their promo material it doesn't really show in the pictures at all that, hey, yeah, we got a carrying case. And now, mind you, I didn't really look at their promo materials or anything like that. But I mean, yeah, it's a decent little dock. It's 7M1, you know. The only thing that we're missing here is that USB-C, extra USB-C port. You can use the USB-C as DisplayPort 1.4, but yeah, like at that point, like unless you're doing it for a quick meeting or something like that where you don't need the battery power, and your only option is DisplayPort, then you could use a USB-C to DisplayPort or something like that. But at that rate, you would likely probably just carry an HDMI and an HDMI to DisplayPort adapter in case something like that were to happen. That way you can keep your USB-C charge power. That's just my thoughts on it, though. Now, when you're taking this all off and you're taking it out of the packaging, you'll see that there is a sticker on the dock itself, and it's just a little warning saying that, hey, like, things are going to get hot. As long as it's not really above 77 degrees, you should be okay. They operate whatever up to this certain temperature, blah, blah, blah. But just know that, yes, the more wattage that you put through this, like if you're charging a laptop with up to 100 watts or something like that, then yeah, it's gonna get warm. It's not blisteringly hot or anything like that, but it does get warm to the touch. It's not uncomfortable or anything like that, though, so I wouldn't be overly concerned about that one bit. I had it running, doing some benchmarks on the laptop and everything like that, pushing readout of about 80 to 90 watts through the charger, and yeah, there was no issues with it burning or anything like that. So you're all good in that department. And then we can see here that also, depending on your thumb drives, you might not be able to put two and two side by side each other. The spacing is pretty tight, so you can see that with my kind of rubberized, thicker one, it will not fit in at all next to even a slim one. So just keep that in mind with these types of docks. They're not as spaced out as some of the Steam Deck docks, but those aren't terribly spaced out too much either. But there is a little bit more tolerance. And then just lightly touching on the case that's included, you can see that, yeah, you can throw in like a pen in the little slim slot there, and then the slot next to it, actually, you can just throw that dock in there. You don't need the bigger pouch. So in the bigger pouch, you could put a tool, like a small screwdriver or two, a knife or something like that, a smaller knife, or in my case, I just threw some thumb drives, SD card in there. It's a felty kind of like, it's a nice material, so it's not like silk where things are going to be sliding around and whatever. So I would trust putting this in a smaller kind of contained pocket in a backpack, and I wouldn't expect any of the USB drives or anything like that to fall out of the pouch there. So good job on that, CableCreation. I really do appreciate that as a nice little thoughtful touch. Now, getting into the wattage testing, I've got this USB-C voltmeter. Now, just take note that it does say to plug into the USB-C charging block and then plug the cable into the female end of the plug and then plug that into the device. But I've tested it both ways and it seems to work the exact same, just the same. So just for ease of use, I did connect it to the Ally directly and then plugged in the charger into the voltmeter. Now, seeing that, we can see that we're getting our full boost in turbo mode. We got up to the 42 watt mark there, and presumably it would hang there for the 2 minutes and then drop down to the 30. So yeah, with this, you have no problem getting up to that 30 watt boost mode. Just note that with these docks, you need a 65 or higher than 65 watt charger, sorry, to get the turbo boost mode. If you have a 65 watt charger or just the Ally charger on its own, you will not get that turbo boost mode. And that's due to needing to supply the extra little bit of power to all the other ports. So just keep in mind, anything over 65 should work. Just try to keep it to a reputable brand, and we'll talk about that kind of later on when we get into like different alternative to docks and everything. And I did go ahead and test it on my laptop as well. So this has a claimed a 92 watt power delivery out, I believe, with 100 watt input. And we can see here that it did get to, I believe, 79 watts in the footage, but I did see it boost up to 89 watts at one point. So yeah, it does supply the advertised 91 or 92 watts, I would say, boosting up to at least that 90 watt delivery. And just keep to note as well, some laptops, they don't, like this laptop doesn't take a full charge through USB-C. It'll only take up to 100 watts, whereas the external charger will put up to like 120 or 130, I don't know, something ridiculous over that, just to get to the boost specifically, but I can still operate in my boost and performance mode on this ASUS laptop. Alright, so going into the USB speed testing, and we're going to test the Ethernet wireless speeds versus Ethernet, and then we're going to test the micro SD card speeds. So going into the USB 3.0 speed test, we can see that, yeah, I'm maxing out the speeds on my Samsung 3.1 drive, I believe it is. Super fast, whatever speeds USB thumb drive. So we can see that, yeah, there's actually no issues there. The performance is honestly acceptable, more than acceptable. I use it to transfer footage all the time, so I would expect the speeds on this to be just as fast as I would use as direct. Now moving over to the internet speed test. So again, we are doing wired first through the dock, and we can see that, yeah, I was able to max out my speeds there pretty close to the gigabit. I was able to get 900 megabits per second and then max out my upload at 49 megabits per second. Then going over into wireless, I've got about half or just over half that, coming in at around like 500 something, 500, yeah, right on the dot there, 502, and then maxing out my upload speeds again on that wireless. So quite a significant boost to the download speeds, and presumably if I got more upload bandwidth, I would get higher speeds. Now, moving over to the SD card reader speeds, obviously there's the SD card reader issue going on, and that's plaguing my Ally, a bunch of other people's Allies, even Allies that have gone in for repairs. They're still breaking the SD card readers when they're getting them back. So this is another alternative to have micro SD and full-size SD card as well options. So, you know, if your SD card reader's kaput and you're just kind of waiting for a more permanent fix, then yeah, by all means throw this in your Ally, and there you go, you got a full speed SD card reader. Now, overall, this dock is pretty darn good, I'd say. It's relatively slim. I've seen a little bit slimmer, but they usually come with less features. But yeah, the speeds on the USB ports and the SD card readers are good. The speeds on the Ethernet is really good. The HDMI, it's only 4K 60, so it's not HDMI 2.1 or 2.0B, I believe it's called. So you're not going to get that 4K 120. I wasn't able to get VRR or G-Sync working at all on my monitor, so so it doesn't seem like either of those are working. I did try to knock it down to 1440p 120, and I still wasn't able to get VR working. Maybe 1080p 120 might get you VR, but I don't know. I doubt it. But anyway, going beyond that though, I don't know. There isn't really much else to say about this dock in particular. If we do take a look at some of the other docks available though, we'll kind of get into, you know, kind of differences between the docks and then what you might need with a dock as well. Alright, so looking at the dock that we're taking a look at today, this is the 7-in-1 dock again from CableCreation. You can see the links below. There'll be the top one linked. Just note that it will be an affiliate link as well, so I might get a little kickback if you choose to buy this. But we'll go through some other options as well. So we've already kind of covered this one extensively, so we won't really go too much else into it. But there is currently a $5 coupon right now on Amazon.ca. I'm not sure about Amazon.com, but I believe there is a similar discount. But you can see here that there is a newer model available for $59 as opposed to $61.99. Now, if we go to that, there is also a $5 coupon. Now, with this one, what's different? Well, we can see that, honestly, it does look a heck of a lot slimmer than the one that we were taking a look at today. So this is even more pocketable. You can throw it in your backpack a lot easier, likely. Yeah, it's probably just going to be an overall better thing. But what's that there? There's another USB-C port there, and you can see you're getting 5 gigabit down there. Now you get the HDMI, you get the Ethernet, and what are we losing? Well, we're losing that SD card reader, but we're still getting 2 USB 3.0 slots on here. Now, the other thing as well, we are only getting 85 watt of output power, so that's still more than enough for the Ally and the Steam Deck, but just keep in mind, again, like if you're having a laptop that is capped at 100 watt PD charging or something like that, like my laptop is, then that'll be even less power that you're going to be able to push through to your laptop, but that should still be more than enough for like even like a light performance mode for light gaming. Definitely more than enough for like kind of light office work, stuff like that. So just another thing to keep in mind. But again, so this is $59, $5 coupon. Honestly, I would be inclined to get this one just because I would rather have that extra USB-C port as opposed to the SD card dock. But your mileage may vary, right? Maybe you need that SD card reader because your SD card reader on your Ally has failed. But maybe you do want that USB-C. So I'll leave this link below the one that we've been taking a look at today as well. Just to give you an option. And honestly, they don't seem to appear to have... Oh, they do have an 8K, sorry. So they have an 8K 30, so that means that would be 4K 120 as well. So they have 2 of those. Honestly, I haven't taken a look at these before yet, so this looks like... Okay, that looks like a good one. That's 92 watts there. What are we getting? We're getting 3 USB, HDMI, so that's presumably HDMI 2.1 because we're getting 8K at 30. Whether or not we would get G-Sync or V-Sync through that, I don't know. I'd like to take a check out of this one, actually. It's a little bit cheaper, surprisingly. So yeah, you're getting the USB, you're not getting the Ethernet, but you're getting 3 USBs. And you're getting 8K. Okay, so what is the 6-in-1 for $64? Keep in mind these ones aren't on sale with the coupon right now. So this one, okay, you gain back that Ethernet and you get another USB-C. So honestly, if you're looking for a dock and you're looking for a great all-in-one dock and you're going to be able to get that 4K 120, again, I haven't verified this myself, but presumably you would get that 4K 120. Now, it doesn't... Okay, so again, with this one only has an 85 watt power output. Now that would still likely be more than enough for a lot of people, myself included, honestly. Even for my laptop, like I would just carry this on the go with me if I knew I wasn't going to be doing like some serious heavy duty gaming where I would want my power brick or anything like that. So that's more than enough for me. And then I would get the benefit of having that 4K 120 when I wanted it and when I needed it. So that would be great, honestly. Probably I'll check this one out in the future, honestly, just to see if we can get that 4K 120 and get the VR potentially working on the ROG Ally. We'll see. But anyway, so moving on to what we'll need. So you'll want at least over a 65 watt charger. Now I've taken a look at this brand before and I gave them my ASUS ROG certified badge, whatever. So that does give the 30 watt charging. So it does give the turbo mode and everything, and a lot more chargers and docks have opened up that as well. So possibly chargers and docks that I've looked at in the past do have that 30 watt turbo mode now. So here's an option. It's a pretty decently priced charger from an okayly known brand. Like, I have nothing bad to say about them. I use them all the time, actually. Like, I still use this charger all day, like every day. Another charger to look at if you're looking for another 100 watt from maybe a little more well-known brand to you, UGREEN. A previous sponsor of the channel as well, but just another charger that I know gives the 30 watt while you're docked and you have your multiple things plugged in with a dock and everything. Now, you can also take a look at these different types of docks. Now, typically these docks may come in a little bit cheaper. Again, UGREEN, this one didn't sponsor me. This one I bought for myself, but it does supply that 30 watt turbo mode. But again, like when you want something like this one is a little bit slimmer. But again, like I would rather have one of the stick style ones for my laptop for on the go. But this one does have a USB-C, extra USB-C port as well. So it's kind of on par, or if not actually a little bit better. Now, if you want another UGREEN, I haven't tested this one out. Now, just keep in mind that these ones, they don't have Ethernet, and they are limited to 4K 30. If we take a look down here, it should say 4K 30 somewhere. I can't remember where I saw it, but yeah, these ones are limited to 4K 30 because it is only 23 bucks. You can see again here, another, 4K 30 by UGREEN. So honestly, I wouldn't probably even bother getting those 4K 30s, even if you have like a 1080p or even a 1440. Just honestly, just to future-proof it and just know, like, okay, if I'm going to take it to a hotel TV and by chance they have a 4K TV, you know you're going to get that 4K 60 or something, right? Just better to future-proof and better safe than sorry. If we do take a look at the UGREEN here, though, they do have a 4K 60 option, and they do have one available for $55.99. So I'll leave this one linked below because this one could be a decent option. I haven't tested it out personally, but I suspect that because their other dock does use and accept the 30 watt turbo mode, that this one would as well. Keep in mind that this doesn't have a USB-C. And then if we just kind of take a general look for the HDMI 2.1 docks, there really isn't too many. So if you're looking for an HDMI 8K30 dock, honestly, I would go with the CableCreation one. So maybe not necessarily the one that we took a look at today, unless you don't give a hoot about 4K 120 or anything like that, then by all means just buy the 4K 61. But to be honest, like, I would probably spend that extra $5 just to get that 4K 120, because why not? Because you can get 4K 120 hertz TVs these days for an okay price, or like for a smaller monitor or TV or something like that. So again, just to basically future-proof yourself and get the best kind of experience possible whenever possible. Now, to end things off, I'm going to say that, yes, this dock is a very good dock, and I'm going to give it the ASUS ROG Ally certified stamp of approval, simply based on the fact that it does give the turbo charge speeds, you get the Ethernet, you get the USB inputs, you get SD card reader input. If you only got just USBs, I'd maybe not give it the certification or the fake certification. So the standard would be either having the SD card reader or the USB-C additional input. So like my other dock that got the certification because it had that USB-C input, and it's a good dock that got the 30 watt input speeds. But yeah, to wrap everything up, I'd just like to give a thanks to my members, Roy Watney. I believe that might be a typo. That's probably Roy Wayne. I believe that's Rustlin that was his name. Darkstar, Amoa, Rico1217, and Joey VR. Thank you so much for being members, guys. I really appreciate it. More than you'll probably ever know. So thank you. Thank you everyone for taking the time to watch this. If you have any more dock recommendations yourself or ones that you've been using, please feel free to drop them in the comments there. And then, yeah, I'll just leave my links below for my recommendations there. there, and honestly my recommendation would be that CableCreation, probably that 8K 31. I haven't verified it yet, so I'd like to get my hands on that one just to test it, and then I can give it the official seal of approval. But this one for now does have that seal of approval. Thanks for watching, hope everyone has a great day.